I'm currently hiding in my closet, and I need all the advice I can get. But you'll need some context as to why, so I'll give you some background details regarding how the hell I got myself into this situation. My brother and I don't have much in common at all. We don't hate each other, but as we got into our late teens, it felt we were more roommates than siblings. We'd see each other after school or work, ate together, ask how our respective days went and did our own thing. He'd retreat to his room to play guitar, and I'd retreat to my room to play games. In time, we both got acquired to going out with our friends at night. The unwritten tradition that was made was that whoever got home would check the room of the other to see if we made it home safe. Usually, it would be me checking on him, as me and my friends would stay out later. I was comfortable seeing my brother's head peek through the door while I dozed off. Until this weekend. My brother planned on heading out camping with his buddies for the weekend. Meanwhile, I was attending a music festival in town for my weekend. I had no interest in hosting after parties or taking girls home, so I planned on crashing at home each night. I had a new job starting Monday, so I decided I would do the music festival completely sober. The first night was a blast. Made it home at 1 a.m. and proceeded to plop down on the bed and let the good old slumber take me. I noticed the door began to crack open. Sure enough, I saw a head poke out from the open door. It was my brother, checking on me. I gave him the thumbs up. "Night, little bro," he said, backing away and closing the door behind him. Funny. Thought he'd be leaving that night. Was he only going camping for one night? I didn't think too much of it and dozed off. I woke to the sound of his Jeep taking off. He actually did stay the night here. The second night of the music festival was a little bit later. It was my favorite artist playing that night, and I wanted to weasel in backstage to see him, but to no avail. The Uber dropped me off at my place at around 1:45 a.m. My brain must have been on autopilot because I checked his room and saw nothing. Well, no crap, he was camping. I threw my clothes off and dropped into bed, turning on the AC unit. I was drifting off to sleep when I heard it. "Night, little bro," I heard a voice say. It sounded like my brother, but not quite. It sounded like there was a strange humming underneath it. I shot up, seeing my door cracked open. I heard footsteps that sounded clumsy right behind the door. "Wait," I demanded, probably waking up my parents in the process. The clumsy steps got closer to the door and I saw my brother's head poke out. I wanted to be relieved, but something was different. His head was almost about to bump the door frame, if not the roof. My brother was never that tall. I regretted my decision and decided I would play dumb. Something was in the house, and I didn't want to make it mad. "I'm glad you're home," I nervously said. It stared at me, unblinking eyes that bored into my chest. "Of course. Night, little bro," it said to me. I could barely see its lips move. It closed the door behind it, and I tried to listen where the footsteps went. It seemed to vanish after reaching the end of the hall. I laid awake, thinking of what the hell I just saw. My parents were still in the house too. I wanted to ask them, but would they believe that a 21-year-old is seeing monsters in the house? I ended up falling asleep, staring off into the rising sun. I had nowhere to be till later. So I slept most of the morning and early afternoon, catching up on what sleep I lost. I asked my parents if they were moving around last night, to which my dad said he took a leak and heard me come home. Other than that, nothing from either of them. I held my tongue as to why I was asking, but I could tell they knew something was up. I also got in contact with my brother. He had stopped in town by the campground. so at least I knew he was alive. My friends thought I was secondhand high off something when I explained the situation to them. I initially wanted to opt out on the rave that night, but my parents insisted I'd go have fun, so I went. I made it home around 1:30 a.m. and immediately scoured the house, turning on all the lights save for my parents' bedroom and the main hallway. I didn't see anything, nor did I hear any clumsy footsteps looking for me. I made it home, I said as I got into the room, shutting the door as quickly and quietly as I could. I wanted to bait it out, but not loudly enough to wake up my parents. I turned off the lights in my room and waited. It didn't take long. I heard the clumsy footsteps appear from the end of the hallway, closing in on my room. I hid in the closet and waited for it to come inside. For extra measure, I put a spare blanket over the bed to give the illusion that I was there. My heartbeat was probably loud enough to wake up my parents as I saw the door crack open. I saw the thing impersonating my brother poke its head into my room. After not seeing me in my bed, the thing's neck stretched and twisted, making the most uncomfortable sounds. I couldn't make out the details of the body, but it was tall. Its neck extended almost 2 feet as it scanned the room. But the being itself never went fully inside my room, its head now touching the ceiling, rubbing against it like a snake on the side of a terrarium. As my eyes adjusted, I could eventually see a body with skin so saggy, it looked like it was melting off of its body standing just beyond the door. It was at least 8 feet. Then, it growled like a wild animal. I was about to scream, but I kept it together. Little, bro. Little. Its sagging arm reached over the door handle and it began to back away slowly, closing the door behind it. I haven't moved from the closet. I want to call the cops, even if it wakes up my parents. What the hell do I say, though? Has anyone had experiences with something like this? Will the police find anything? Or will it vanish as soon as someone comes to the door? Or worse, what if it attacks whoever steps inside? I haven't heard it leave yet. I still hear the muttering behind the door. Please, help me.